Hello, and welcome to Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. How's everybody doing today? Gonna do another whip and chat today. Yeah, go through some more getting to know you questions. We're at like 151, so we'll go from there. And working on World I Used to Know by Jojoes Art. Round 22 by 28, 56 by 71 centimeters, 44 colors, and 2 ABs. Alright, yeah, so I just have one more color, the 310 black in this part, then I can move on to the center here and go from there. This is like the last row of reflection part for the tiger, so alright, let's just jump right into it. It's just going to be through 10 for this color. Where can I set this? Pad. Okay. If your life was a book, what would its title be? Life was a book, what would its title be? Oh boy, I have to open up another 310. Walking an uncharted path, maybe? Or walking through the storm. Would be a possible title. Alright. Yeah, that's about what I can get for camera angle here. Alright. 152. As the only human left on Earth, what would you do? Hmm. Well, it would depend on the environment. And being the only human left on Earth, I'd make sure I could plant trees somehow to kind of make sure there was a good oxygen supply. Basically forage for food and all that. Learn how to grow my own food. Find a way to produce energy, electricity, and all that. I guess do like the basic survival instinct stuff, and then once I kind of have some of that established, probably explore a bit. Like, I don't know if, like, this question would need, like, a lot of context. Like, would this be after, like, an apocalyptic disaster or post-outbreak or something? This kind of feels sci-fi kind of question. Well, if I was the only person left, then there really wouldn't be anybody else to look for. Yeah, I'll just say establish like survival basics. Find a way to ensure my survival for the longest time possible, and then just explore the whatever area I'm in. I'd probably still be in Canada, I'd imagine. I don't know that this question needs more context to it. It's not. Okay, 153. What stats for your life would you most like to see? Yeah, there. I think the explanation was like number of steps or uh probably number of coffees I've consumed. Uh, how much money I've spent thus far, maybe. Number of steps walked be a good common one. Yeah, that's a fairly broad. Okay, 154. What did you think you would grow out of but haven't? What did you think you would grow out of but haven't? Watching cartoons. I guess that's kind of timeless. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I'll just say watching cartoons because. Yeah. 155. What are three of the most significant numbers in your life? Birth date, August 6th, 1985. 7226. Punch in. Number at work. Uh, a third number. Significant though. I guess my PIN number. My bank account. Not saying that. Tell you, three significant numbers. Oh, what the heck? Okay, 156. What are some of your personal rules that you never break? Uh, hmm. uh, don't drink and drive. If I drink any alcohol, if at all, uh, I don't drive. Period. Even if it's just one single, or even if it's just like 1 ounce of rum or vodka or something in a shot glass. I don't drive if I've consumed alcohol whatsoever. So that's why I generally don't drink very often because I have to drive myself around. So personal responsibility. So yeah. What's the best and worst piece of advice you've ever received? This question seems familiar. Oops. Dropping a drill. Best and worst piece of advice. Best advice: respecting one another. Treat others as you would want them to treat you is good advice. Worst advice: uh, trying to start an online business would probably be make money from home off the internet. Uh, it's possible in some extents, but with a trusted source. but I'd still be kind of leery. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if there's a huge investment up front, it's probably a really bad idea. And I've suffered that, learned that the hard way. Okay, 158. What song or artist do you like but rarely admit to liking? I'll say Celine Dion, but I've probably said it tons of times that I like Celine Dion, so yeah, that's fair. I just like music. Okay. What annoys you most about the in groups you are part of? Uh, hmm. I guess for I could say diamond painting groups. Some people may not have access to the internet, and I guess I can understand this. But questions about what store is the best to buy diamond painting kits from, or the constant recommendation questions. I see those questions all the time. Yeah, it's good to get a second opinion, but I don't know, just try buying a kit from one of these places. Do 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 do. Oh, some people can't help it. Like that's where they get their advice from, or that's how they find out about companies. That I I don't know. Just buy a small kit and try the company out. Like if you really want to know, truth be told, recommendations are great, or advice is great, but I just try it. Don't know. It's just the way stuff goes. Okay, 160. What small gesture from a stranger made a big impact on you? Uh, a bit ago, a stranger gave me a business card with a Bible verse on it. So wherever they got the business card, like those verse cards from, is beyond me. But of all people to give a card of that nature to is certainly an interesting and mysterious gesture, but it's a gesture of kindness, so I took the card and thanked them for it. Yeah, it just had a Bible verse on it, so it's just right place, right time, I guess. It happened for a reason. I don't remember the Bible verse. What do you regret not doing or starting when you were younger? Come, this sounds familiar too. Oh well, I'll answer it anyway. Uh, Probably sticking with learning how to play the piano slash keyboard. I had a MIDI keyboard when I was younger. I probably still have that. Probably still have a keyboard, but I just didn't stick with it. So kind of a pang of regret because I do love music, but I myself just never stuck with keyboard, playing the keyboard or piano. I never took lessons or anything. I kind of self taught myself and then, as usual, got distracted by something. Okay, 162. What's the dumbest thing you've done that you've done? Sorry. What's the dumbest thing that you've done that actually turned out well? Oops, I wrote. Oh gosh, I wrote that you've done twice in that. That you've done that actually turned out pretty well. Holy cow. Must have been tired writing these out. There we go. Dumbest thing that I've done that actually turned out well. Uh, Putting my car in reverse when I was stuck in a ditch, and then getting out of said ditch and jumping right back into my car to prevent it from driving away on me, I guess. I was the only one driving at the time, and yeah, I went too fast onto a gravel road, like turning that is, and slid into a ditch, hit some sort of metal indicator pole, like some gas line type pole, like just an indicator pole, like a locator pole. So I just took a breath, put my car into reverse, and just rocked my car back and forth to get it out of the ditch and push it back. And I jumped in my car and moved on. Eh, got a little damage to my car, but I never went too far beyond that. Okay, yeah, that's something. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to? Uh, if I had to change my name, I'm really not one who knows the meaning of names, etc. But if I had to, I'd just probably change it to William or Will, because that's my middle name, so I just changed it to that. There are a lot of Jeffreys in this world, and mine's spelled with Erey, so it's kind of unique in its own way. But yeah, theoretically, if I had to change it, yeah, probably just go to my middle name, William. Yeah, not bad. Uh, when people look at you, what do you think they think? How come these sound very familiar? Oh well. I don't know. Probably at this point, somebody would probably think I'm like not sleeping well or look tired, look worried all the time, or he has thin hair. I don't, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess subconsciously I think of those things when people look at me, but I don't know really how to put it into words. Like, people could be thinking anything when they're looking at you. Like, it's an impression, and you're just kind of there. Okay, 165. What can you not get right, no matter how many times you try? Uh, Carrying stuff back and forth. Uh, while working, like to plant a plant while working. My hands are always full, and no matter how many times I'm carrying something, I always have something in my right hand and have to drop whatever or set down whatever I have in my right hand to open the door, get the door open. I do it all the time, but I'm one who just carries tons of stuff in my hands just so I don't have to take like hundreds of trips back and forth to my car and in and out of my workplace because I have to card in because the doors automatically lock for security. So I don't have to worry about like a key to lock like every door. It's just all cards again. Okay, I'm just gonna take a break here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to edit this a special way. Okay. I'm back. Okay. Just had to go do something, so there we go. Alright, finish the whip and chat questions, or the getting to know you questions. Yeah. Yeah. Made it up to 165, so there we go. Yeah, I just kept getting texts and then I had to go do something, so. Alright. So, I don't know how long the questions took me this time around. Probably shorter than before, for sure. Seemed to skate through those most recent questions pretty quick. Oh, excuse me. And of course, I made a cup of coffee before I came back, so it took an extra couple of minutes. But hey, we're back now. Just have to do some creative editing, that's all. So yeah, it had been snowing earlier here. Same areas, but seems to sky's still overcast, but it's not snowing anymore. It's calmed down a bit for sure. Yeah, and I just basically have 310 to do in this section. I'm gonna have to open another bag of 310. I just use all the drills that are available. I just open one package at a time. If I need to open a new package, that's when I open it. I don't overfill my containers or anything. Yeah, nothing like a 20,000 drill pickup for a spill. No thank you. Then having to wait for replacement drills to come in the mail. No thanks. I got the kit once. That's enough. That's enough for me. If I have everything I need, I'm good to go. It's depending on how busy I get. Kind of counting on finishing this month, like this tiger this month, but if I get busy, it's gonna be really tricky to do the chuck along 3 if I'm not done this canvas, but see what I can do. Work on it as much as I can. do huge sections at a time, because I can stop at any time, so there we go. Alright. Yeah, it's just been a chill couple days, really. On my second day off, so just try to diamond paint and try to relax. Doesn't always go as planned, but I really don't carve anything in stone anymore. My schedule is just all over the place, it seems. I've tried to plan certain events. It's worked out okay, but then there's a circumstance like the day of or a couple days before, and plans go to crap most of the time. So that kind of sucks. It's just one of those things I've come to expect, that trying to plan something, a wrench is going to be thrown into the gears somehow. I always seem to get like the extra red tape for stuff too. Extra hoops I have to jump through while somebody else just has a smoother experience doing anything really than I do. I don't know. I just have more patience for certain things, but sometimes that patience just wears a little too thin for even my liking. I don't know, because when you do or plan something, you like communicate with the people, you get everything organized, and then out of nowhere, something just comes up and just derails everything that you've planned. It's just so frustrating. I hate that. I get every detail I can, organize everything, and then there's just a glitch or a sudden emergency that comes up like almost all the time. Yeah, it's just inevitable. I've just come to expect it. But yeah, I generally try to go with the flow of things, even if I really don't like the outcome per se, or the alternate event in place of said plan, said original plan. I'm adaptable, but most of the time, if it's something I planned before and it just is totally out of whack, I just don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, I'm not very receptive to change, I guess you could say. That's a safe assumption there. I don't like change. But yeah, change is inevitable. Can be for the good, can be for the bad. But for my summary of experiences, it's been a mixed bag. I've usually just had to go with the outcome that happens in the end and just continue on. Yeah. That's probably a part of why I don't really go on big trips or anything, or I don't have a passport yet. Because something like that gets canceled, it just feels like a kick in the pants. I'd be so upset. Something, a trip or something I canceled for some weird reason. Probably why, yeah, not really a traveler. Sorry, just drinking some coffee too. Getting some coffee into me. I'd love to go travel somewhere, but, well, COVID, but even before COVID, I'm not really one to get ready to hop in on a plane and just go like anywhere. Kind of have to have like all the details first and know precisely what I'm doing, how much exactly it's going to cost, pay for it, ensure it's all good, ensure all the details, I's are dotted and T's are crossed before I do anything major like that. Details are very important. And I keep bumping my stand. Don't worry, there's not an earthquake here. There we go. Yep, you're gonna have to open this bag of 310 soon. Yeah, I have like at least 3 or 4 more bags of 310s. This is just my first bag of 310s. Hopefully. I did do a bit of 939 last night with one, two, three. Oh, there's 4 bags of 310s. Like 4 other. So there are probably 5 bags of 310s in total. It's been a while since I last unboxed this. Holy cow. Was in drills. Yikes. Okay. Alright. Hopefully I know there's glare. It's not too terrible. Film this during the day. Overcast sky, so yeah, I'm sure there's glare there. Yeah, it's just 310 too for color. Not very exciting segment per se. But yeah, 310 is a major part of this picture, so this particular piece, it's pretty important. But if I were, yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth here. If I were to go traveling somewhere, I believe I had said like tropical. Yeah, I'd probably like to go to Egypt as well. Yeah, Egyptian history is kind of fascinating to me. Even though it's like desert, I've played a year or so ago. I played Assassin's Creed, the ancient Egypt one, or I think it was Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins on the PS4. Yeah, that's when I was streaming on Twitch, live streaming on Twitch, and I was playing through that. I was near the end too, and then my PS4 eject button overheated and shut down the broadcast constantly, so I had to send my PS4 to the physical Sony manufacturer and replace the eject button. And once I got my system back, all the data was wiped, which they said I would be able to recover. But yeah, that's shortly before I stopped streaming on Twitch there. Or I probably stopped streaming like right after that because I couldn't. Or I just played another game on another system I could be at too. But yeah, that really. The operator on the phone line said that my data would be fine. I'd be able to just turn the system back on and continue playing, but yeah, my hard drive was wiped. My PlayStation 4 hard drive, that is. So yeah, shortly after that, I sort of replaced meditating with playing video games, gaming. I'll still pick up a video game controller, but I'm just, the passion isn't there anymore, or the desire to game isn't there anymore because of that massive setback. Yeah, you could kind of say that meditation and diamond painting kind of replaced my video game habit. Not really a PC guy per se either for gaming, but I'd play VR. I'd do like virtual reality on PC if I had the equipment. I do VR chat if I could get a good computer to do that, because I love virtual reality stuff. I had, yeah, I have a virtual reality on the PS4, but I boxed it up as well. There are just some things that are like interesting to me for a good long bit, and then just all of a sudden I just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Taking a break. I don't know. I personally feel better not gaming constantly anymore. I was getting tendonitis, flare ups in my hand when I was gaming for a bit there, and it was kind of affecting my work a bit too. It was flaring up at work as well. So I had to switch to my left hand to do a lot of my work for a week because I had strained my tendons in my hand. Yeah, so I've made a couple of slight changes in my life over the past couple of years that I had to make. It's just those changes that, like I mentioned earlier, when you like make plans for something and it just you have to cancel them all of a sudden, or yeah. There are many different types of change, but I expect you come to expect some things to change, of course, but other times you just don't want something to change, something in particular to change either. So that's what I get frustrated with. Changing something that's like was fine before, and then all of a sudden somebody just goes and alters how something works. It's notorious at work. We have protocols in place to do things a certain way, and then just all of a sudden upper management goes and changes something that was working excellent. I just can't win sometimes. Alright, I'm gonna have to crack open these 310s. They're pretty hefty bags at 310s. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just opening the one for now. Just cut bags open as I need them. Not messing around with multiple bags of open diamonds here. Just make sure I got them all. Yep. Oh boy. But other than my present craziness, how is everybody else doing? What's everybody doing these days? I've just had a rough go past couple weeks. I'm just moving along the best that I can, but all I can do. Hopefully everybody's still having fun doing their crafting thing, getting their canvases done. Having fun doing your crafts. Yeah, that's the important part. Yeah, even if there are bumps in the road, it's a transformative experience all the time. You gotta take the good with the bad, is how I've been looking at stuff lately. Even though it's just not the funnest pill to swallow most of the time. No, I'm one who likes to try and look at the bright side of things. Or I used to be more ambitious than I am now. I try to put a positive spin on things. Yeah, just losing drills left and right here. Wax must be wearing it in the pen. But I'm surprised I still had the same wax because I was doing the two AB colors last night. I still had the same wax in here on the tip, because that AB coating usually affects the wax. Usually I have to change out the wax in the pen after having that coating, but not this time around. I try to use the wax as much as I possibly can. I don't like dipping my pen into getting new wax all the time. I just find that a tad wasteful, but if the drills aren't getting picked up properly, then yeah, comes a point where you have to change your wax in your pen. I just basically use the pink wax anyway, so let's put that drill there. And I'm just a single placer. Yeah. Just like it better that way. But yeah, can't say that I've tried multi-placing. No, I'm not really too much in a rush to do it. Holy. Just drop black drills on the black section of a canvas. What fun. I'll probably stop after 40 minutes here. Yeah, for this part of the recording. Well, at least I got the questions covered. Yeah, that one question where if you're the last person on Earth, what would you do? That needs a lot more context. I guess you're just supposed to use your imagination at that point, like point blank, like what would you be doing in that situation? I don't know, you're just surviving at that point. And literally the only one left on Earth. That sounds like I Am Legend. I think that is I Am Legend. Well, the main character's the only human being left on Earth, supposedly. The rest are suffered a vampiric kind of plague, and they're just wandering around. The infected are wandering around as vampires. He has to do his stuff during the day, and at night the vampires walk around. No, kind of sounds like a lockdown these days, doesn't it? Where you're limited as to what you can do at the present time. Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's what made me want to listen to... I'm listening to I Am Legend as an audiobook, so on Audible, so I know that post-apocalyptic kind of or outbreak kind of concept is kind of interesting to see how the author imagines or how the author shapes the world or the universe which the characters reside in. It's kind of interesting. The different ways that a disaster can be depicted in a written work, or what they think would be the result from said catastrophe, as stated in the text. I listened to both Andromeda Strain books. That was kind of a virus or organism that spread and killed a lot of people in those books. And the second book, it ended up in space somehow, and yeah, they had to literally destroy it somehow. It's been a while, but yeah, I don't want to give too much away. I think the strain mutated and across those two books as well. Yeah, it evolved or mutated. Thus the second book came to be. Yeah, it's just how something of that nature can get out of control. Kind of like COVID-19 at this point. But yeah, look at the Black Plague caused by like a single rat infected with some sort of disease or pathogen, and it came across on a boat or something, or that's probably how it spread to the New World, I guess. I think it was really nasty in England, the Black Plague. Yeah. Caused by a rat or something. And then COVID-19 supposedly caused by animal to human transmission. I believe that's what the investigation found out. But irregardless, and now that the strains, there's 2 or 3 more strains out there on top of the original strain, it just makes things really complex and tedious for people. In the end, I don't know, can't dwell too much on stuff like that though. But I think in the end it's better to stay updated what's happening in the world, even if it's just for like 10 minutes for a news cycle. Yeah. The news isn't too cheery these days, but it's better to be on the loop and have an idea of what's going on, even just briefly, to see where we stand. They're trying to open up. They've opened up schools up here, and I just shake my head. We had case numbers like under 1,000 here in Ontario for like 3 days in a row now or something, but it's still in like the 900s or something. That's of course if the testing numbers and those results aren't skewed or messed up, which I have a feeling they are, because my mom looks at that information every day and sends me a text accordingly for case numbers and that kind of thing. Yeah, so between CP 24 Hour News cycle throughout the day, and CNN and MSNBC for like a American kind of scope of the COVID-19 and its variants. I basically stay in the know to a certain extent. Of course, there's other news, but yeah. I just see what I see, so. I don't linger on the news for too long. It's usually not happy stuff, but I get that news fix anyway, because I'll hear it some way or another. Either on the radio, driving in the car, or just sitting and watching the news for a bit. It's just one major detail in our lives right now that we need to have knowledge about, even if we don't like the outcome. Just gotta see how stuff is going. But if any more restrictions are eased, people are gonna get cocky again, and we're just gonna end up right back in lockdown, which is what nobody wants. And there will probably be a third wave here in Canada and the US, possibly, if we don't just have our heads on our shoulders at this point. It's been over a year with this thing. Could very well be the rest of this year too, unfortunately, just because of the other strains. And even though there's vaccines out, they're behind on manufacturing and distribution. And there's like a certain 40 something days for validity of the vaccine, like between the two doses that everybody's supposed to get eventually. It's like a 40-day window in between shots for like protection. So I don't know, it's clunky. Some people have both their shots, but yeah, I'm not one of them. I'm glad to hear that people are getting vaccinated. It's great. Progress. Nurses and stuff. Excellent. But yeah, as for like public rollout, it's clunky at this point. So rest of us just have to be diligent and keep doing what we've been doing for nearly, or like over a year now. Wearing a mask, washing our hands, social distancing, only going out when we need to. That's what I've been doing. Back and forth to work, wearing a mask the whole day at work. Yeah, washing my hands constantly. I've washed them constantly anyway because of my way my job is. Yeah, and only going out when I need to. I do like going for coffee runs. Either to get my dad a coffee and myself a coffee, but it's in my car, it's in drive-through. Get a cup, come home, it's an outing. A lot of people use that as an outing. My mom gets groceries. I stay home, unload them when she gets home. My dad goes to work as usual, wears a mask, fixes trucks for his shift, and doesn't work weekends. He works during the week. I work weekends, Thursday to Sunday generally. Yep, I do my thing, my factory job. Dad and I are deemed essential workers. I'm in the food industry, he's in the auto industry. Like auto repair, that is. I'm in food manufacturing. So yeah. I just have to be careful, diligent, patient. All three of those are probably overused and sound like a broken record at this point, but it's basically where we are and where we're probably going to be for a while. I'm glad that some kids can go back to school and see their friends, but if anything goes wonky with that back to school stuff, they're shutting down. They're going back to online learning if that goes wonky again. They're being careful and diligent. If even one or two symptoms or one or two students show symptoms, they shut down they're going back to online learning, I'm pretty sure, in any of the school districts. I guess we have to try something. Like, have to try opening stuff again, but once some people see eased restrictions, I don't know, somebody's gonna do something reckless and just ruin it for everybody else. We're gonna be back in lockdown again. But what can we do but like try? Alright, I'm probably gonna tidy up this session here. You've been watching Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. I'll list my Facebook name down below. It's just basically Jeffery Morrison with E-R-E-Y at the end of my first name. Yeah, I'll be down below in the description. My Instagram, which I use to post my progress on any canvases I'm working on and any meditation quotes after I'm done meditating in the evenings. I post when I can. And just my email, it's my first and last name, all lowercase, at gmail.com. And yeah, I'll just put that down in the description below. So yeah, I'll just keep working away at this 310. I'll edit this video and post it, and just march on into this adjacent section and just try and keep going and getting this going. So, have a great day, everybody. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And all the best for your crafting endeavors. Bye. Take care.